Politics is kind of like a drug. You always go back to it, and it's so hard to escape. So after I left that position, I did pretty quickly begin working for a non-political nonprofit under Lee Zeldin, who was the former congressional candidate on Long Island. He formerly ran for
Sure.
governor of New York State, and he's now head of the EPA. And this was kind of a nice, smooth, adjacent leap back into the pool of politics overall because we got to go into communities and actually help the people who were being represented. And it was a lot of a better feeling than some of the verbiage that's being thrown around these days.
I like that. I like that line. Like, politics is a drug. Why do you think it's a drug? What's so addicting about politics?
I think it's the pace of politics, how fast it is, that's really alluring to people. The way the news cycle operates, the way that policies are constantly changing, I think it's always something very intense that's going on. And a lot of people really do like that exhilaration almost.
Do you feel like you thrive in that intensity? You like that level of change?
I do. Do you like that level of change, Chris?
Not really. I like slow and steady.
Chris just wants to be on a sailboat. He doesn't want to be involved in society. No, it's a really good point. It is a little bit like a drug. I mean, the news cycle is a little bit of a drug, right? It's about like kind of like spiking your dopamine, like whatever's happening right now. This is the most important thing ever, which is kind of funny in our business when it comes to investing. Because the news cycle tries to create so much urgency and likes to tie in a lot of investing to politics, which, if you look at it statistically, it's less based. You make your decisions without politics, you actually end up investing better. And we have to defend against, people's, I guess, ability or want to act just because they saw something in the news cycle. Whereas you think about really good investing is about ignoring a lot of that news cycle, which is kind of, ironic, but that's, in our business, we have to defend against the people's want to just constantly make decisions, I guess.
What do you think is the biggest, I guess, poor decision made after the election in terms of decisions made on urgency?
That's a great question. I was actually before the election, not getting invested before, having to know the outcome because the market went straight up on the election day. So had you not been invested before that, you would have missed a huge opportunity investing. So I think waiting for certainty and waiting to know is always a disadvantage when you're actually investing.
Yeah, and it kind of goes back to like what you were saying before about how everybody got so caught up in the trend of, bashing you and, wanting you to get out. And then later on they apologize. I think investing kind of has the same feeling. It's like, it feels so right in the moment. But then when you step back and after the fact, you're like, geez, I really made a big mistake.
What are your views on cryptocurrency? Like, is that a legitimate asset? Is this just dudes trading in their basement? I mean, what's your viewpoint on that?
My generation is really into these meme coins, which I think is so funny. I know that there was a Trump coin. There even was a Luigi Mangione coin, which was fascinating to me. It's definitely a mixture of both. I mean, I think it was Trump who said that the United States should become the crypto capital of the world. Personally, I'm not an expert, but I do have a bit of skepticism just relative to it because of, I guess, the contingency of buying something and then everybody just pulling it out and then you lose hundreds of dollars. And it does seem to be a bit of a risk. So I'm not super invested in crypto personally, but it's an interesting currency.
It's gambling, right? It's like they have it on their phone the same way. They're looking at whatever meme coin or all these crazy. We've been trying to make Bob coin for years. We think it's going to be a hit. Going to get way more interest in Trump coin. Don't worry, Bob. You have better hair than Trump. So, but I think that's actually a really good point. I mean, it's like this whole mentality now, especially when it comes to crypto. It's all about gambling. It's not about use cases, right? Let's ignore the fact that we don't use it for anything in terms of like as a currency unless it's illicit finance. But the bottom line is it's just literally when you read anything about it, it's always about prices going higher and trading on some sort of platform. 100%.
It's definitely a mixture of both. I mean, I think it was Trump who said that the United States should become the crypto capital of the world. Personally, I'm not an expert, but I do have a bit of skepticism just relative to it because of, I guess, the contingency of buying something and then everybody just pulling it out and then you lose hundreds of dollars. And it does seem to be a bit of a risk. So I'm not super invested in crypto personally, but it's an interesting currency.
The years since I graduated college, and it hasn't changed, right? We have students who are graduating with masters and PhDs and don't know how to balance a checkbook or understand the implications of credit card debt. So it still blows my mind, and that exists to today.
Yeah, no, it's true. And it's like where people from their money right now, it's frightening, I think, when you talk about cryptocurrencies and things like that.